Hey there, guys, and welcome back to More Love is Strange, where we are romancing Chloe Price. And damn, for the first episode, things are moving pretty quickly, and so I feel like this is going to be a pretty heavy on the sweet side route. So guys, prepare to have your teeth rotten from all of the sweetness that's going to happen in this route. So, last episode we found out that the location we're gonna go to is the Lighthouse, which I called it. I fucking called it. But let's continue. I mean, so far it seems pretty short. The previous episode was like super short. So let's see what's gonna happen and how things are gonna go. My head feels heavy when I wake up the next morning, and I swipe 4 times at my phone's alarm instead of the usual 2. It takes me a bleary couple of seconds of rubbing my eyes and stretching to remember why my mind feels so way down. Oh, Chloe. I promised myself last night I wouldn't be too upset about Chloe jet setting off, at least on the outside. I meant what I said yesterday. I do understand on the logical level why she wants to, and I really sincerely want her to be happy. And it would make me the biggest hypocrite in Oregon to call her out on leaving me behind in Arcadia Bay as she goes off to explore the world. I know that, but I've loved having her back in my life. It's taught me that some people really are irreplaceable, Chloe most of all. I'm not crazy about the idea of losing her again. Yeesh, right after I told myself I wouldn't be mopey too. Time to get it together, self. I rolled out of bed, start pulling my clothes and things together. What's really important now is to focus on Chloe, make the most of her time together. I'll need to get morning muzziness out of my head first, but I'd really like to do something special for her. Make sure her parting memories of Arcadia Bay are good ones. Give her a compelling reason to come back. Okay, Max, you're going to miss Chloe. How about we dwell on that after she's actually left? Oh. And we're going to need to take a photo. A good photo. An award-winning photo. Sometimes I feel like time is actively working against me. Time to go splash some water on the face? Max sadness hour is over. It's about time this day got rolling. But of course, when the door swings open and the smell of weed hits me like a truck, my heart just goes speedy again. Hey, bedhead. Morning burnout. Wow. She grins at me, lowering her joint and leaning back against the sink. She looks loose-limbed and carefree this early in the morning, arms bare and hair mussed. Looks like she's waiting around to raise some hell with Rachel again this morning. I know I must look like a mess, but at least it's nothing she hasn't seen before. I cross by her to the sink to her left, leaning over it and splashing some water into my face, examining against my fingers. Chloe is looking at me. I can feel it. You doing okay, Max? I straighten up and glance at her before patting off my face. Yeah, I'm fine. You know I'm not a morning person. Who is? She's looking at me a little searchingly. Her joint glows ember red between her fingers. Why am I messing up my words so much? Oh, my soul. You sure though? Your eyes are kinda... She makes a vague gesture with her hands, indicating my entire face, which isn't exactly helpful. All smudgy-like, too small. Thanks. You know what? I may have messed up on the previous choice, but I kind of feel like just being honest with her. Just thinking about you, I guess. At that, her grin spreads wide, shit-eating, and she leans towards me, bracing both hands on either side of the sink. Oh, really? For a second, I just blink at her and she raises an eyebrow. Then I get it. Oh, you wish. I shove at her shoulder and she sways back, laughing. I giggle too, and wish I hadn't already doused myself. It'd be suspicious to do it twice. And the contest too, but somehow you manage to distract me even when you're not there. Chloe grins and rubs her joint out against the sink. I'm counting on that. Anyway, Rachel will be here in a few minutes. Apparently today is going to be the big goodbye day. The word goodbye just drops another rock in the pit of my stomach, but I just nod. Is that your way of subtly telling me to get out of your Kool-Aid stained hair? First of all, how dare you suggest this color comes from anything but the finest bottle of Manic Panic Bad Boy Blue Amplified Hair Dye? How did I not trip over that? Second, absolutely not, hippie. I was planning on running into you. She meets my eyes again, and I straighten a little. Reach up to pinch a water droplet out of my bangs. Yeah? Why? For one thing, you look cute first thing in the morning. Your hair's all floofy. As I'm brushing down my admittedly floofy hair with my fingers, she continues. Also, Rachel has me booked all day, but I wanted to know what your plans were. My plans? Yeah, hopefully I'll be free later on today. So if you wanted to do something like for the contest or... She shrugs, slightly unsure, and flicks her smudged joint into the stool across from her. It misses the drain by about 2 feet. Why is she always so, like, uncertain and shy? But just the fact that Chloe's still thinking about the contest first, about me, even in the face of this huge shift in her life? I definitely want to hang out. But maybe today can just be a Max and Chloe day. She looks at me again, surprised. Then she grins. Dude, every day is a Max and Chloe day, like fucking Thelma and Louise. Have you got something in mind? Not yet, but I will by the time this afternoon rolls around. It's a surprise. Chloe's eyes go even brighter. Sweet, gives me something to look forward to as I suffer through all the Skater Bros tears. You're gonna break their hearts. She nods cheerfully. They'll get used to it. Oh boy. Her phone beeps and we both look down. Chloe checks the message, then shoves it back in her pocket. Rachel, she's waiting outside apparently. She lives off this shit, you know? I think men's tears might make her younger or something. Oh yeah, I think I might know another person who I feel exactly the same way about, you know? So it's my torture this person seems to find thrilling. That does sound like Rachel. Mystical, powerful, and daunting. Go easy, alright? I feel kinda bad for them. No promises. She reaches out and ruffles my hair with one hand. I'll catch you later, dork. And I'll text you when I can meet up. Okay, tell Rachel I'm expecting her to be the responsible one. She already knows, but we'll do. She winks at me and then slips out of the bathroom door. So that gives me the half hour before class starts to think of something special for Chloe. Good, Max. Great forward thinking. Playing a balancing act of thinking about Chloe and getting ready for class is even harder than I thought it would be. Wow. While I'm bummed she's still cutting class and I won't be able to see her, it's not as though it's the first time she's ever done it. Also, I'm kind of glad to be lined up as the person she comes back to at the end of the day. Keeps me feeling significant. Even though I know it's probably poor planning to let the contest take a day off. When we only have 3 contest days on. Why am I still tripping so much? God damn it. I think it's a good idea to have some time for Chloe and I to just focus on each other. Plus, if she's going to be busy for most of the day, that gives me a bit to plan for the photo in the meantime. And for what I want to do for Chloe today, I think I'd like to have something to give her, some kind of memorabilia to remind her of Arcadia Bay. Or of me. For a moment that makes me smile, the idea of White Knight Chloe receiving a token from her Lady Fair before setting off on her grand Arthurian journey. Then I catch myself. Geez, schoolgirl crush much, Max? I shake my head, push that more than semi-worrying thought out of my mind for now, and focus on thinking of a gift Chloe might like. After spending a couple of seconds looking around my room, I come up with what I think are 3 Chloe options. Honestly, having played before the storm, I already know what I'm gonna pick. Chloe does love to rock out, and she's going to be spending a lot of time in that car. I know her music taste well enough by now to pull together a playlist I think she'd like, something to keep her awake and eager on the road. Maybe I can also slip in some songs I've been trying to get her to listen to. Even if she's not crazy about them, it'll at least be a way to have her thinking of me. But hopefully in a, oh man, Max, my musically talented best friend, who I miss so much way, not in a, geez, what kind of loser puts 3 acoustic tracks right next to each other way. I can probably make one after class, maybe doodle a cover to go along with it. Sounds like a plan. What's really important is making this day about Chloe. I want her to feel like I'm supporting her decision, not holding her back. It's hard, walking a balance of knowing I'm really going to miss her, and being happy for her, knowing she's doing what she wants to do. Chloe deserves the world, and more, but I just hope her happy ending isn't one where we're apart. Mine definitely isn't. Her getting ready to leave is starting to make me really realize that. I'm starting to think that I should have put that into words before this week. Just as I'm running the risk of riding the train back all the way into Mopesville though, my phone beeps. Luckily too, because apparently I only have 2 minutes to get to class. I hurriedly shrug my bag over my shoulder, scrolling through my text with my other hand. Looks like I'll be free around 4. That work for you? My schedule is totally clear. I'm at your beck and call. Intriguing. You're gonna give me a hint about this surprise thing or what? Well, I think you'll like it. Dude, of course I'm gonna like it. More specific. Nope, I wanna watch you shiver with anticipation. You're lucky I love you because you're a pain in the ass. That just finished the damn... Wow, whatever. Okay, I'll see you at 4. Also, Max, like, thanks for doing this. I know you're busy with the contest and school stuff, and it's great to be able to hang out with you still. I'm glad we can. Patient. Oh yeah, of course. Nothing but the best for my BFF. Yeah, see you later. Don't be late for the date. Wow. I'm gonna start charging you for those, I swear. I end up skidding into Mixed Dog's class with 3 minutes late, but even the darkest of Victoria's glares can't wipe the stupid grin off my face. Wow. Oh, the boardwalk. It's 10 minutes to 4, and I'm actually starting to hope I can rely on Chloe's chronic lateness. I ended up getting to the boardwalk later than I expected, scrambling to get my work done for class tomorrow, and getting caught up in brainstorming for the contest. In the end, I just decided to text Chloe asking if she would mind meeting up here. She's the one with the truck after all, and is faster than Blackwell's bus, even if its upkeep is similarly doubtful. Wow. I dare you to say that to my truck's face. But okay, we'll meet you at Boardwalk. It's so atmospheric here too. It's hard to stay focused. All the bright colors of storefronts and the soft sound of the sea in the distance makes me want to soak up the atmosphere. This is one of the only places in Arcadia Bay that continually feels lively. I've always been more inclined to the quieter parts of town, especially for photography, but there's still something so magical about places like this, on the border between civilization and nature. I wonder if Chloe's searching for more places like this, bustling, shining with color and sound. She's definitely someone who's drawn to places, and people, that present life with vigor. Is she even looking for something, or is she just desperate to leave this place specifically? Well, it's not like I'm going to figure out that out just by standing here thinking about it. Goddammit. The only person who can answer that question is Chloe. Right now, I need the time to make sure her gift is perfect. Luckily, I was able to piece together a good playlist for Chloe before I left the dorm. Good in my opinion, anyway. All I needed was to pick up from the shops was a protective cover. I think I've managed to strike a fine balance between rock hard and feel nothing but rage against the machine, and punks have feelings too. I was able to get some passable doodles drawn on the disc before I caught the bus. I'm no Picasso, but I think Chloe will be able to make out some butterflies, a skull and crossbones, or faces. I hope she'll like it. Just as I've held it up a little to inspect it against sunlight, I hear a shout from behind me. Max! I turn, quickly hiding both hands behind my back, to see Chloe a few yards away, climbing out of her truck and beaming. Hey! I wave with one hand and try my best to be subtle, slipping her gift back into my bag as she starts ambling over in my direction. I barely have time to look back up again before Chloe's right in front of me, wrapping her arms around my waist and lifting me nearly an inch off the ground. Ah! God, you are a sight for sore eyes. Put me down! She does, her hands still settled on my hips as she leans back to look at me, grinning at my half-hearted scowl. Oh my. Don't pretend you're not happy to see me. Of course I'm happy to see you. That only makes her look more smug. So what was the damage? Chloe shrugs. Well, I think 6 years were added to Rachel's life. She told me to say hi, by the way. I'll have to say hi back later. She's counting on it. Chloe lets go of me and starts moving towards the edge of the wooden slats beneath us. She gestures for me to follow her, and I hurry to match pace with her again. So, why meet up here? Not that I don't appreciate the romantic atmosphere. Oh. Oh, you know what? Let's do this. Well, you know, only the best for you. She grins, satisfied. Is this your best then? She tilts her head back, looking at me from beneath her eyelids, almost like a dare, smiling with her incisors. I know that look, and it's supposed to make me catch me off guard and say something stupid, probably so she can laugh at me. Yee. But I've been getting better at playing this game. I raise my chin, put one hand on my hip even as I feel my heart flutter. Disappointed? That gets her to grin even wider, and all the challenge goes out of her face, laughing and tipping her head back. Never. Anyway, I actually needed to come here to pick up a few things. Chloe's eyes light up. She turns to face me, back and elbows balancing against a fence that separates the sidewalk and sand. Like what? Like a new film and... She looks so eager. As usual, she's seen right through me. Still, it could be fun to tease her a little longer. And more colored pencils and... She's still grinning, but now she's starting to look a little unsure. I decide to cut her some slack. And something for you. She brightens, springing up straight again. I can't help but grin back, my hands coming up to wrap around my bag strap. Score! I knew it. Subtle as a sledgehammer, Max. When she comes up to me all the way in my space and eyes roving around me curiously, it's hard to stand my ground. I have to tilt my head back a little to look into her eyes. Wow, is Chloe really that tall compared to Max? I mean, it didn't look that way in Life is Strange. So where is it? You sure you want it right now? Yes, give! One of her hands snakes underneath my arm towards my back. I shiver involuntarily as it brushes against my waist, then smack it away, shoving the bag further behind my back. Grabby. Guilty as charged. Come on, Max, show me the money. Wow. I roll my eyes, but she just beams insistently at me. I reach back into my bag and withdraw it carefully. Okay, but it's your fault there's no element of surprise. Chloe takes the disc cover from me and flips it open curiously. For a second her eyes just skitter around the doodles, then she lights up. Dude! I shift from foot to foot, suddenly shy at her delight. I know the drawings are crappy, but the music is mostly stuff you like, I promise, and... This is great! I didn't even think about music. Now it's gonna be a real road trip. What's the point of even going anywhere if we can't jam out on the way? I knew being able to thrash would still be high on Chloe's priority list. I smile. Well, it's not all Riot Girl, Wild Child. I put some of my tracks on there too. There's no way out of the hipster earscape. You did? When I meet her gaze again, I fully expect her to be teasing, locked and loaded with an arsenal of jibes against my musical taste. But actually her eyes are super warm. It catches me off guard. That's awesome. Thanks, Max. Just to make sure you're thinking of us little people from time to time. She bristles a little at that, tucking her jacket firmer over her shoulders. For a moment, I lose eye contact with her. Are you seriously worried about that? As if I could ever forget. As if that isn't the biggest thing to worry about when you find out your best friend is leaving for an indeterminate amount of time. Especially when yours truly is guilty of exactly that. Still, I try to keep my tone light, coming to stand beside her, lean back on the fence some. Well, you never know. I've heard there's a lot of world out there, Chloe. It's easy to get distracted. Distracted from what? I look at her, confused, and the look on her face startles me. It looks like she's really deep in thought, like she's trying to make a decision. Whatever the decision is, she seems to settle on it and looks back at me again. Her eyes are really determined, and kind of intense. Wow. Okay, I've got some thoughts on this, and like before, I'll give that on my last episode. My mouth goes dry. I feel myself stand up a little straighter. Listen, Max, I wanted... She hesitates. Just for a moment, and in a space of that 1 second, her phone beeps. Oh, it's not a loud sound, but both of us jump. We glance at each other, and I giggle as she huffs and reaches for her pocket. My heart is beating way too fast. It's Joyce. She wants me home early tonight so we can make dinner together or something. I'd barely given a thought to how Joyce must be taking this. Now there's a pang in my chest. You should go. But we'll have tomorrow and Friday to hang out and work on the project. Besides, it's your mom. Chloe chews on her lip for a moment, then she looks up at me, suddenly bright-eyed again. Come back to my place. What? She grins at me, bottom lip caught between her teeth. Come on, it'll be great. And it'll make Joyce happy. You know, just like old times. Cooking dinner together, blanket forts, pillow fights. It's a Wednesday, I have class tomorrow, and we're definitely going to need to crack down and take the contest photo too. This is really no time to be staging impromptu sleepovers. But Chloe's still beaming at me, insistent and almost coquettish, her eyebrows raised, one hand on her hip. Wow. If I say okay and regret it later, there's no one to blame but myself. Okay, but we can't stay up too late. It's like Chloe's whole body just illuminates. She straightens up and claps her hands together like a kid, her grin stretching wide across her cheeks. Yes! And without much more ado, she grabs my hand and starts dragging me back towards her truck. This is gonna be hella awesome, Max. Joyce will definitely bring her cooking skills if you're here. I should definitely be feeling some regret or indecision about this poor choice of time management. Just like how I should have felt self-control a few seconds ago. But Chloe's hand is really warm in mine. Oh my. Oh, okay. Wow, this is nice. Like, I know it's the menu thing, but I wondered when it would come in, so now I know it's Chloe's room. I'm so full I think I might never eat again. Chloe was right, and Joyce was excited to see me, probably because it meant another helping hand in the kitchen. The two of us ended up doing the most of the work, which is likely the way Chloe planned it. Still, we made so much and ate so much that I don't think I'm going to be able to move again for another couple of hours. Chloe and I are on our bedroom floor now, sprawled underneath an admittedly half-hearted blanket fort, made up of all the pillows we could find and a blanket propped up by Chloe's bedpost and her lamp. I'm sorry. This is definitely a fire hazard. Just like me, she's lying on her back, arms folded under her head, and I'm on my elbows leaning back. We've drawn our knees up to conserve space, but our legs are still bracketed around each other. I'm exhausted. It's only, what, 7-ish? That's not a bad thing, though. Maybe we'll get to bed at a reasonable hour after all. Chloe groans, shifting a little to spread her arms out wide. Reasonable hour? Oh right, because of the contest. Have you started coming up with a game plan yet? I tilt my head back. Chloe doesn't pay a lot of attention in photography class, but I know she'll do her best with whatever I ask of her. The contest is a lot of pressure on its own, but having Chloe's goodwill resting blindly on me is heavy too. Sort of. The lighthouse should be a good place for this specific shot, but it's you and me, right? And we have so many memories there. Chloe nods a bit, her bare feet tap against my ankle. What's going to be hard is working with the wide shots. Everything at the lighthouse is so big. It's going to be hard to capture it all. Still, I think it'll work out. I mean, if you're the subject, I think. What the hell? That was the weirdest sound ever. There's a loud creak of floorboard underneath us, and Chloe comes up onto her arms in a matter of seconds, eyes wide and wincing as her wrists crack. If I'm the subject? Her surprise startles me too, and I nearly lose my balance, upsetting the blanket slightly and hitting my elbows a little too hard against the floor. Ouch! I thought Chloe already assumed she would be the subject, but in retrospect, I guess the both of us were too distracted to actually talk about it. I turn a little red. Kind of careless, Max. Yeah, I thought, but I didn't ask. Sorry, so if you don't want to, that's totally... No, I mean, I'll do it, I just... She glances away, and it takes me a second to realize she looks a little shy all of a sudden. It's such an unfamiliar expression on her that it takes me a second to recognize it. If you wanted a model, you should have asked Rachel. Oh, you know what? Since we're given so many flirty options, let's just do it. You're plenty eye-catching yourself. The second it's out of my mouth, I feel a flush climbing up my neck. Chloe props herself up higher on her elbows, grinning at me. Are you hitting on me? Now I'm the one that has to look away. She just laughs, but I can feel her still watching me, waiting. The point is, I'm not that worried about centering the shot if you're the subject. When I glance back at her, she just nods, mock thoughtful, then grins at me again before lowering herself onto her back again, hands behind her head. Sure, okay. Well, if you're not worried, I'm not worried. Well, I think that covers that topic. Wow, this is going 0 to 60 and so fast. Besides, photography is something that happens in the moment. It's not really something you can plan out in advance. It's kind of romantic that way. I look at Chloe again, but she's still looking up, away from me. I wish I knew what she was thinking about. Chloe and I can read each other so well. but there are still some moments where I can't get in her head. The silence is broken a little by the sound of Joyce passing underneath the stairs, singing softly to herself. Chloe's fingers curl up. So you've already talked to Joyce about you going? She glances down at me in surprise, then grimaces and looks back up at the ceiling. I knew it would be an uncomfortable subject, but I'm hoping for the best. Yeah, I mean, it didn't exactly go smooth. She cried, Max. It was fucking brutal. I hum sympathetically. Mom tears are the absolute worst. Yeah, you kind of feel like shit when you make your mother cry, you know? But in the end, like, she understood. She wants me to be happy, kind of like what you said yesterday. She said she was the same when she was young too, her and, my dad. She said with the gene pool I had, she shouldn't have expected anything less than a free spirit. Like a bird. I can't think of a better way to describe Chloe. Joyce may have come down to roost, but the prize women were meant for flight. Chloe grins lazily up at me. Bird of prey. Then her grin falters, and she comes up on her elbows again. What about you? Me? Yeah, are you a bird, Max? Her voice is light, teasing, but there's a serious sort of look in her face I can't quite decipher. Unsure, I just chuckle. I lean back and close my eyes. Sure. There's a sudden tug at my foot, and I almost come unseated. I prop myself back up on my forearms and look back up at Chloe in surprise. Her fingers are still wrapped around my bare ankle, and there's a searching, almost severe look in her eyes. I'm serious. Oh, wow. Okay. I think I can kind of see where this question is going. Seriously? Asking if I'm a bird? Max. With what I think is going on here, I already know I'm going to choose this answer. You guys will figure it out when this thing ends. When you look back on the episode, you'll understand everything's going to fall into place. Because I already got a theory going on here. If I'm wrong, I'll admit it freely. If I'm right, I'm going to sing I Told You So. I could be, I think. One of her eyebrows raise, and her thumb brushes past the knob of my ankle. I try really hard not to shiver this time, but she grins anyway. I kind of feel like she's testing me somehow. Well, I don't know if I am a bird, but I'd like to be one. Really free. Getting to see so much of the world. Going wherever it's warm, that's nice. And you know, that bird's eye view. When I glance up from her hand around my foot, she's staring at me. Her expression is curious, but she looks pleased, a smile tugging on the corners of her mouth, and I feel like I passed. Well, I think you could be one. She lets go of me and comes up to sit a little straighter, both of us curled forward towards each other. Thanks, Chloe. That means a lot coming from a professional peacock like you. Wow! Fuck you, I'd be a way cooler bird. Anyway, between you and my mom and Rachel, everyone who actually matters knows now. Well, that's good, right? No loose ends? She looks away from me again, lips curling a little. I hate putting it like that. Something's definitely up with her. I'm not sure if it's something I'm supposed to ask after or leave alone. But Chloe knows I'm nosy, so I think she expects it when I push myself forward on my hands towards her. Are you feeling okay? She glances at me, surprised, then away again. I'm fine. Nervous? That gets her to look back again, and for a minute I think I've misstepped, but then she gives an airy, disbelieving chuckle. Kinda. I nod, trying for a sympathetic and knowing expression, but I must screw it up because she immediately shakes her head. It's not what you're thinking. I'm not nervous about, like, driving or where I'm gonna go or whatever, it's just... Her mouth keeps moving for a moment after her voice trails off, and it's unsettling. I don't think I've ever seen Chloe wordless before. Yeah, knowing from before the storm, this is also kind of worrying for me. Her lack of a brain-to-mouth filter is worrying sometimes, but at least it's consistent. This time I have to lean to the left to catch her eyes again, and she meets them, a little weary. Then tell me what I should think. Chloe, I'm not mad at you, you know that, right? I just want to know what's going on with you. I want to get it, like you said yesterday. It's not like you owe me explanations or anything, but you know you can still tell me anything, right? And I'll listen. I want to be there for you. It startles me when she leans forward, not breaking eye contact. Ooh, hiccups. For a second, our faces are very, very close. Ooh, boy. Then she crosses her arms across my knees and rests her chin there, looking up. You already are here. Her calves are pressing in around mine now, arms heavy where they're draped over my kneecaps, and I swallow. She's grinning up at me, cat-like and intrigued. Come on, I was being serious. I curse myself for stuttering, but Clay doesn't seem to notice, just pushes herself off my knees again. I'm being serious too. Max, it's just cool that you're here. It's cool that we can still hang out and that you're making this time for me. And being a dumbass. But she just laughs, stretching her arms over her head and then flipping up the edge of the blanket beside her. Chill. Anyway, I'm in a movie mood. It'll help us digest. You got any suggestions? Oh, okay. Considering from the Victoria Path, we know that people hated Final Fantasy. Let's go with Donnie Darko. I mean, that was an amazing movie, the first one. It was awesome. What about Donnie Darko? Donnie thinks about it for a second, then nods agreeably. Okay, but you can't complain when it pisses me off. That movie makes no fucking sense. Pisses you off. You've watched it more than I have. Sure, whatever you say, Jake Gyllenhaal. Does that make you Gretchen? Sounds good to me. She was cute in that movie. She tucks me up by the hand as we make our way out from the crumbling fort, then slides an arm around my shoulders, easy as anything. She's still really warm. I don't know if it's because of the blanket fort, or because of me, or because of her, but it's nice to lean into anyway. Wow. Damn. This is progressing kind of fast. And wow, this is in general, this episode is kind of quick. I mean, it's already Thursday. So, whew. Oh, wait, what? There we go. So guys, you can read and I'll just slowly go through it. But thank you so much for watching, and I do hope you guys are still enjoying this. And I've already explained why I'm doing this again. So hopefully you still remember that and you're not forgetful like I am. But guys, thanks for watching, and I do hope you share, like, and subscribe. Give the notification bell some love and hugs. And yeah, the links to my Twitter and Discord are down below in the description box, as well as the download link for this game. Download it, it's good. And like I said before, Team Rumblebee have a few other things that they added on their itch.io page, I think. I played Lone Wolf. It's short, but it's pretty sweet and it's cute. And if you guys like this, you might like that. So, until next time, I'll see you later.